weekend. Joining us to reflect and look back upon that, Michigan assistant hockey coach Brian Wiseman. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. How are we doing?
Doing great. So going back to last week, we talked to Billy, and he talked about the need to get that momentum back, keep it going, because you got that win over Ohio State to kind of get that good taste back in your mouths. You get out there on Friday, and you're downing, no pun intended, and yet you go out there and you notch a shutout. First, the defense without downing, and then second, talk about Steve Racine's performance, because I was shocked to see this. That was the first shutout of his career.
Yeah, without Michael Downing, that's a big loss for our team heading into that first game of the series. And I thought our team responded well, especially our defensive core, guys stepping in that haven't been maybe in the position to do that in a number of weeks. A guy like Nolan DeYoung, for one, really doing a good job, and solidly defensively as a group. Even the forwards, we talked about that the previous week of how our team defense, and that was going to be a focus for us going down the stretch to improve that. And then the goaltender being a big part of that. And Steve had a heck of a night. Yeah,
I mean, again, he goes out there. You notched the shutout, and that was just the start. He had a good game the next night as well. We'll get into shortly, where he had 26 saves. What is there? I don't know if you noticed these things in the moment, but was there something that he did differently? Was he loose? I mean, were there any ingredients that you can notice from the side that really led him to go out there and perform better?
Yeah, I don't know if there's one particular thing you could point to or put your finger on. But us as a staff noticed, the preparation and the work effort throughout the week from him and all our goaltenders, as a matter of fact, preparing for that weekend series and Friday. And Steve in particular, you saw him make some really big saves and look pretty easy. He's an athletic, a big athletic goalie. And so when his game is on and he's focused and the preparation is there, he can go out and do the job. And like you said, we saw that Friday, and we saw, the same very similar things on Saturday as well.
All right, so, Coach, we're talking to Michigan assistant hockey coach Brian Wiseman here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. A lot of times, let's say in basketball, a guy might be in a scoring funk, and he can go to the free throw line and hit a free throw, and all of a sudden it gets him back going just to see the ball go through the net. So when JT Confer snaps that 9-game, scoreless or goalless streak in game number one, did you kind of have a feeling that just getting that good taste back in his mouth might be the key to getting him back on track?
Well, that's good. It is always good, when you have some success that way. But I'll tell you, for the last few weeks, he's been a real good player for us, defensively, offensively, creating his line. Creating momentum. He just hasn't got rewarded for putting the puck in the back of the net. Mm-hmm. And so if you get the empty netter, and can that propel you to something moving on with kind of getting some confidence rolling or whatever it might be, or just kind of a little breakthrough like you mentioned from a free throw line example. We saw that then obviously Saturday, because
right.
And good for him, because he's been working extremely hard here lately. A big part of our team moving forward would be JT Confer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a hat trick in the game, and Coach Berenson, he doesn't mince words. He says, we have him in a top 6 position. He's a top 6 forward on the team, and he said, you've got to produce in that role. So he laid it on the line, but the kid stepped up, and he's getting it going for you, it seems, at the right time.
Without question. And you know how that goes with confidence and momentum going throughout the season. And you have some ups and downs and dealing with frustration if things aren't going your way. And he's pushed through it. And like you said, this time of year, we need our best players to be our best players. And obviously he stepped up and did that last week.
I know you don't like to do it in the morning, but in the moment, I should say, but Ira was just going on and on in the break about Dylan Larkin. He said, man, this guy is
very skilled.
This guy is
very skilled,
unbelievable, Coach. And I hate to do the comparison game, but when you talk about talent level, skill that you had, and a lot of amazing skill that has come to the program, where does he kind of fit in that puzzle that you guys had?
That's a good question, and we've been asked that quite a bit lately here in the last month or so with regards to him. You can put him up there with the best that's played at Michigan, for my money, and especially as a young guy. And I remember Brendan Morrison as a freshman. I was a senior here. He came in, you could just see special oozing out of this kid every time he was on the ice, whether it was in practice doing some special things and it translated on the weekend in games. Dylan, in my mind, very similar to a player of that caliber of Brendan and what he's done with this program and what he did here at Michigan and beyond. But you're right. He has tremendous assets in the skill set. And first and foremost, it's at his feet and how he skates, and he gets around the ice so efficiently. And then obviously, you take it another level of that. He's got a tremendous shot. He's got a great head for the game. He loves the game, and he's excited to be out there. He's like a kid in a candy store around the rink, and he's a rink rat, we call him. Those types that you have to pull them off the rink after practice because they just continue to be out there and wanting to work on things and messing around. And it's kind of like a gym rat, I guess, would be in basketball, right? Just nonstop shooting, every day. And so Dylan has a lot of those qualities, but, he's having a year that would go down as, one of the most special freshman seasons probably in the 93 years of Michigan hockey.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And the superlatives just continue to come forward for him. Now, Coach, no rest for the weary, right back at it. And a team that I don't care that they're a new program, Coach. It just going back to last year and how Penn State just seemed to be a thorn in the side earlier this season. They picked you off once, and then you came back and really blew them out the next game. But Penn State is a team that I don't know. I think Michigan fans are always going to be leery of.
Well, sure. They obviously they had some success against us last year, and that was the end of our season. As a matter of fact, in St. Paul against them in double overtime to put us out of the Big Ten tournament and ultimately the NCAA tournament was maybe some games to look back against this team. And so we had them in Yost. We have an idea. This team knows who they are as far as what we should expect. They're going to be big, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to put lots of pucks to the net. And they're going to play extremely hard, and they do that really well at home. And so there should be no surprises for our group here coming in this weekend.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get to. This is one of those times. I know you're ahead of them in the standings. They're doing fairly decent for where they are in their development as a program. But you run into times where we talked to many a coach that you're facing the team a little bit lower in the standings and you could overlook them. I don't sense that that's even a possibility with Penn State and how they've been against you guys.
No, not at all. Whether it's just a track record against us or us seeing them already this year. We even were in a situation last weekend with Wisconsin. We talked about that, a couple weeks ago when I was on with you guys that, a team that's maturing and growing as a group was Wisconsin, and they were better than we saw them the first time, a month previous. Mm-hmm. And they gave us all we could handle 5-on-5. Our special teams came up big last weekend. And scoring 4 goals and not giving up any. So we have to have that same type of attitude here of no matter who the team is we're playing or where their position is in the standings, we still want to get to where we want to get to. And then they're trying to catch us. They're trying to gain some ground and get to our position, but we're trying to spread ourselves even further away. Gotcha.
Well, folks, the game tonight, 7 o'clock against the Penn State Nittany Lions in State College in Happy Valley. You can see that on BTN Plus. And then tomorrow,
3 o'clock, mark your schedules.
Right, 3 o'clock. They take on Penn State again, also on BTN Plus. Well, Brian, thanks a lot for joining us. Good luck this weekend, and we'll catch up with you guys next week.
Look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.